So in this video, I have a little bit of an update regarding the snapshot that was taking place for the Sologenic and Ethereum snapshots for the airdrops to take place later in January. Because I actually reached out to Bob Ross and at Real Sologenic on Twitter, and I'm going to tell you what they responded with. In some other cryptocurrency news, we're looking for Bitcoin to rebound right now. Everyone's looking for the time and the price of the next leg up. Well, I have a little bit of a theory that's going on right now regarding an accumulation model. In fact, the same thing that happened back in June and July. So I'm going to tell you what it's shaping up, what it's looking like now, how it compares to what someone like Benjamin Cowen says, and what we can expect for the price of Bitcoin. How much lower can it actually go? And Ethereum whales seem to be dumping Ethereum. Like I mentioned in my last video, I wanted to do an update based on an article that I just read on some on-chain analytics from Ethereum whales. Whales meaning wallets that hold more than 1,000 Ethereum and wallets that hold more than 10,000 Ethereum, because they've been doing something specific with their Ethereum really since this past summer. I'm going to tell you what they're actually doing. And yet another billionaire is jumping on the Bitcoin bandwagon and tell you who it is and what he just said about Bitcoin relating to fiat. Hey everyone, my name is Randy and welcome back to the Late Night Grind. And right now on this channel, I'm covering the Ripple versus the SEC case, but of course, there's not much news going on right now for a couple more weeks. But I'm also covering cryptocurrency news, investment markets, and personal finance. So if any or all those topics interest you, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Also, don't forget to hit that bell notification icon so YouTube will send you a notification when I release a new video. So if you're feeling generous today, I'd appreciate it if you do two things. Number one, smash that thumbs up button. And number two, watch this video. Those really are the two best things you can do to support a YouTube channel. So with that, let's jump into it. So the first thing I'm going to mention is a new billionaire that's on the Bitcoin bandwagon. His name is Ricardo Salinas, and he recently put out a video on Twitter wishing everybody a Happy New Year, and he also mentioned this, and that is to ditch your fiat and jump on Bitcoin. Now, it looks like from the video, some of the other things he was talking about business leaders, standing up for freedom, for innovation, and it seems like he's just another billionaire that's sort of jumping onto this monetary freedom standpoint. That's been one of the big narratives surrounding Bitcoin and the rest of the cryptocurrency market. So nonetheless, he told his followers to ditch fiat and buy Bitcoin. Now that just might seem like somebody who's trying to pump up Bitcoin because he most likely holds some, and that might be partially true, but from the rest of his video, it seems like, well, he's just on that freedom-loving bandwagon. And speaking of Bitcoin, I wanted to bring up what I have been seeing shaping up on the charts for the last couple of weeks, specifically the last week or so. Now, I wasn't the first one to come up with this. I did see somebody point this out on Twitter, but I was doing some of my own modeling, as you can see on the screen behind me. And what happened between May 20th of last year and July 20th of last year was what some people call a Wyckoff accumulation model. There's a drop, there's an accumulation period before another leg up in price movement. And it looks like it's shaping up to do something similar right now. So I took a fractal, so I'll put this on the screen. I took a fractal from what happened between May 20th and July 20th. And as you can see on the fractal, I had to scale it down a little bit for the time frame because it looks like this particular essentially Wyckoff model, if it's actually doing that, would need to be scaled down because it's a little bit quicker and it's a little bit less volatile in terms of its price action. So if narrowing it down for scale, it looks like we could be potentially more than halfway through this accumulation period. And in fact, I think all of the main parts of this accumulation model were already hit, and that we're essentially waiting for what they call the spring, meaning there's a dip down below a support line, and once that happens, there could be a spring upwards to some higher price action. Well, the last time this accumulation model was actually going to effect in June and July, it kind of kept going south because there really was no support line set up. Well, right now, the support line is actually set up at around 45,600, which it hit 4 separate times over the past about week and a half. And in fact, just today, it recently bounced right off of it. So in my mind, there's really nothing holding this back. Some people are calling for another liquidation event down to maybe 43, 42,000 before using that as essentially fuel to fuel its next leg up. So that's what I'm going to be looking for in terms of time frames. But since this seems to be a less volatile and quicker moving accumulation, in my opinion, we could see a dip and a spring anytime. But I'm not a chart analyst or a financial advisor. I'm just going based on what some really smart people are doing when they're tracking this. Now, I wanted to cover Ethereum real quickly because I mentioned on my last video, and that is, it caught my attention because Ethereum whale holders, meaning wallets that are holding more than 1,000 Ethereum and more than 10,000 Ethereum, are doing something specific with their Ethereum. So actually, since the beginning of 2021, wallets that are holding 1,000 Ethereum or more have been dropping, in fact, dropping dramatically. And then wallets that are holding 10,000 or more Ethereum have been dropping since roughly May. And even though Ethereum's been setting kind of all-time highs periodically throughout the fall and this winter, the whales don't seem to be holding. The whales don't seem to be holding nearly as strong as the Bitcoin whales do. So this article pointed out what Ethereum whale holders have been putting their money into, and I covered some of this on my last video. They're putting it into some of the altcoins, number one. They're putting them into ecosystems like Matic, but they're also going very heavy into things that are not strictly just a cryptocurrency. And in fact, some of them may even surprise you. Some of these whale holders have actually been tracked to putting extremely large amounts of money into Shiba Inu. And they've been doing this over the last couple of months. Now, in my opinion, that's a lot of speculation and a lot of speculating to be doing based on what Shiba Inu's done in the past, but nonetheless, it's been happening. And some of the other projects they're putting their Ethereum into are things like metaverse tokens, are things like gaming tokens like Axie Infinity, metaverse tokens, and of course, the NFT world. So if you are holding Ethereum, let me know in the comment section down below if you've done anything with it or if you're simply waiting for the price of Ethereum to move upward. And finally, some news on the Sologenic and the Corium snapshots that took place on January 24th, Christmas Eve. Now, a lot of people have been waiting to hear what ratios Solo holders are going to get, what ratios XRP holders are going to get, because we've spent the last month and a half setting up trust lines, getting our Solo and XRP in place for this snapshot. And of course, as a shock to pretty much nobody, the price then plunged. It dropped about 75% from snapshot time into its bottom, although in the last 48 hours, it has risen almost 35%. But nonetheless, a lot of people are waiting for either some tweets or some information to come out from Sologenic. Now, they had actually responded on New Year's Day, January 1st, and they confirmed that both the snapshot for Solo and for the Corium both took place on January 24th. Now, the Corium snapshot they said would take place sometime between the 24th and the 31st. Well, they did it right on the 24th. So on New Year's Day, they came out and they said that snapshot was completed on block number XYZ. You can actually go check it out on Twitter. But they said they're processing all the data and they'll come out with the ratios as soon as they're done. Well, on Christmas Day, Bob Ross said within 7 days he would have the numbers out. He would have the Sologenic ratios out. So we're now on day 9, and as of yet, we haven't heard anything from them since New Year's Day. So I tweeted at Bob Ross, Sologenic, Reza Hashish, and some of the others that were actually involved in this project, and I'm waiting to hear from them. Because when they said within 7 days, XRP holders and Solo holders expect those answers within 7 days. We know it's the holidays, we know things can get busy, but nonetheless, you should still keep your supporters updated. A simple tweet with a little bit of information would go a long way. That's going to be it for today's video. I appreciate you watching, appreciate you giving it a big thumbs up and for watching all the way to the end, and I just wanted to point out one little upgrade I made to my office recently. My wife gave me a wall sticker which I put up behind my office, and if you can't read it, it says grind, as well as this little crypto ticker over here. And if you want to know where to get it, I have no idea. I'll have to ask my wife, probably somewhere on Amazon. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and as always, I'll see you guys on the next video.